Good evening. My name is Kimberly Clark, and I will be answering discussion question 1.3, Making the Connection Biblical, from Exodus chapter 1, verses 8 through 14. In this passage of scripture, we find that Egypt is in the process of getting a new king. The new king is afraid that they are outnumbered by the Israelites. So, in an effort to keep the people of Egypt from overtaking the king, he begins to put masters in place over them to apply oppression to keep them from the mere thought of overtaking Egypt. The Wikipedia defines oppression as a malicious or unjust treatment or exercise of power, often under the guise of governmental authority or cultural opprobrium. Oppression may be overt or covert, depending on how it is practiced. Oppression refers to discrimination when the injustice does not target and may not directly afflict everyone in society, but instead targets or disproportionately impacts specific groups of people. This brings me to question number 1. Do you believe this is happening today? Yes, I absolutely believe this is happening today. I believe there is a fear of the majority becoming the minority. And as a result of that fear, we now see certain oppressions being applied. By oppressions, I mean things like high gas prices, things like inability to find fair housing or affordable housing, mental health illness. We are seeing the inability to get food, and the food that we are or do have access to, it's not good food. It's not healthy food for us. We can't find good schooling for our children. We are being oppressed by our jobs, having to work longer hours or less hours, and not being in a position to take care of our homes. So we are working more jobs, sometimes 1, 2, 3 jobs or such. Yes, this is happening today. Do you believe that the United States is capable of enslaving its own people and surviving as a country? Yes. They've been doing it since the 15th century. They continue to do it today. They do it in the forms of child and adult sex trafficking. They do it in the form of in the form of forced labor. They do it in domestic servitude. We see them do it with child soldiers, mass incarceration, people that are in jail for things that shouldn't even be considered a crime. But these are all forms of oppression disguised in different ways. Yes, the United States has and continues to enslave its own people and get away with it. Are there any modern forms of slavery that impact the world and or their community for good? If so, who are they, and do you agree with their practice? No, I don't agree with their practice. Yes, modern forms of slavery still exist. As I stated, mass incarceration, forced child labor, bonded labor, domestic servitude, and again, we talk adult and child sex trafficking. That is modern day slavery. It's happening in our communities. They are getting away with it. They continue to do it. It affects our communities. It affects our country. It is lifelong. The traumas that are associated with these particular forms of slavery, if you make it out of these situations alive, they're lifelong. Mental health illness. Why can't we not treat our mentally ill? It is a form of oppression. Why is gas $5.10 a gallon? And that's just where I live. In other places, it's way higher than that. We say cost of living, these changes come as a result of cost of living. No, these changes come as a form of oppression. They come disguised in these manners, but they are a form of oppression, a way to keep a specific group of people as a minority. Yes, these things are still happening today. And no, I don't agree with them. Thank you.